Today is April 1st, and the Yankees will play their fourth game, going for their fourth win. And we're going to chat with Aaron Boone about the bats and the homers and the lineups and everything. It's a good chat.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks.
Boom.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. Over there we got BBD. Jake's wearing a nice outfit. And your hair's kind of like coiffed but dryly. I like the look. It's good. And BBD's wearing a jersey and a hoodie. So that's good. We got Boone on the show today. First time chatting with him after a series, a fun series to recap. And he was pretty open again with a lot of decisions he made and thoughts because good spirits. So I'm excited. Jake, how are you?
James, Davis, everyone tuning in, we appreciate you. Feels like this is maybe is obnoxious Yankees fan. Maybe it's not. You let me know. Feels like the actual start of the season between the off days and just butchering the Brewers.
Well, that's always...
that was sick.
Yeah, butchering the Brewers. That's cool. Wow. I remember having this thought last year. That opening weekend is fun. It's festive.
Right.
The weeknight games are when it finally feels like, okay, we're in the season. Which we're going to the game tonight, so that's not. I'm not going to have that like sit on the couch, watch the game. So
Right.
Season starts.
So season
tomorrow.
hasn't started. God
Not
damn
today,
it.
Tomorrow. Anyway, we chatted with Boone, asked some good questions. He was pretty forthcoming about some stuff. We'll discuss reactions to Boone after the episode.
I think it's a good time to be managing the undefeated Yankees. Outside of one question that Boone was like, you guys aren't going to ask about that, right? And it's like, we're absolutely opening the show about torpedo bats. Come on, Booney. But in our own fashion. That's the trick, Jim.
That is the trick. Did I mention SeatGeek?
Aha.
You're going to the game tonight.
You're going to the game.
Tickets at SeatGeek.
SeatGeek doesn't come in a jar. You guys know this by now.
Comes
SeatGeek.
from everywhere you are.
SeatGeek, 28 million downloads, the number one rated ticketing app. 10% off any tickets with code YANKS2025. So if you've used the code before, if you don't have the app, doesn't matter. YANKS2025 for 10% off. Go to a game. I was going to tell you to go to a concert or something. I'm kind of not. Go to a game. What are you
Kinda
doing?
sounded like concert, which is cool.
Go to a concert. Yeah, I'm you might see in the interview I'm evolving into the radio version of myself.
That was funny.
Yanks 2025, 10% off at SeatGeek. Download the app. Green means good, red means bad. Thank you, SeatGeek.
Anywhere you go. Hello and welcome to Bantering with Boone, the first episode in the middle of the season here. Yanks are 3-0 and lead the league in home runs and like every major hitting category. And there's been a lot of chatter about these bats, Boone. It's a story that has left the baseball world, got mainstream attention. What's the dumbest thing you've heard said about them so far?
That we moved the sweet spot on Volpe's bat to the middle of his bat. Like, no, that's not the thing.
Someone's not behind the scenes just like massaging the wood down to a different area?
Yeah, that's absurd.
Have we
Sweet
thought
spot is the sweet spot on bats.
maybe making two sweet spots with a gap in the middle? So if it's kind of like you're not going to hit it perfectly. So when you do, you get hit. I don't know.
Camel bat.
You don't need MIT for that.
Yeah. Like we're overthinking all these a little bit.
It was funny. It was at Stott on the Phillies. He did an interview yesterday, and he was like, these have existed. You go to the Swing Tech Lab. I went there. They tell you, like, where you hit the ball the most.
Yeah, no,
and then they design a bat for you.
there's a lot of stuff that goes into it without question. And, you know, I take it from my standpoint, like when I played, I probably hit with 7, 8, 9 different model bats throughout my career. I've used one kind that was a fatter head against left-handed pitching, a thinner head against. So this isn't new other than we just are able to really, really measure things now. And evaluate things on a much better. Like I went by, oh yeah, this feels good.
Yeah.
I think this is probably right for me. Now we have probably a better idea of what actually is right for you. So, credit to our guys and our players for really, being invested in like trying to get outfitted, like the golf world has done now for a number of years. You go get outfitted for your clubs. We're just doing that in a better way now, I think. And, hopefully it's something that helps us.
It is April 1st today, so maybe have whoever's leading off, you'll tell us later in the show when Jake guesses the lineup correctly, step up to the plate with 2 bats taped together. And just, it's April Fool's, so like you can pull no suspension. It's just April 1st.
Yeah, we'll go up there with a boat oar.
Yeah.
Have you swung it? I know you do your annual kind of feats of strength, see if I can still get one out of the stadium. Have you used it?
It's not it's everyone has their individual. It's not just
Gotcha.
Give me the torpedo one over there.
Yeah.
The 30, like it's made for each guy.
Right.
Yeah. That's what Stott was saying too. He's like, it's not like I can watch that and say, oh, get me one of them and call Invictus of the company. He's like, you have to go there, take 1,000 swings and like get measured. So it's existed for a while in some people, and then some people just found out about it. It was a lot of home runs though. 3-on-3 pitches. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, obviously, when I say I never seen that, we've never seen that. So, yeah, that was amazing.
When you run that back the next day, because there's been some lineup talk, and we want to talk about that with you more. But was that kind of because it went righty, lefty, righty? And you keep going. Is that just not messing with the baseball gods? Like, hey, we put up 20 runs, we homered on the first 3 pitches, or the face you're making makes me seem there's more thought than that.
Yeah, Savali, more of a reverse. So I kind of kept it that way. And the way the Brewers bullpen was, I just didn't want to create long lanes of, for their lefty leverage that's good left on left. I didn't want to give a long runway there and then just have a righty lane. So I tried to create some balance, but starting with Savali, and then and you roll out 20, you gotta throw it back at it.
You talked about the game 2 lineup, about thinking about it the whole off day, tinkering with Goldie or Volpe leading off against lefty Nestor. What went into the final decision there?
Yeah, so my first instinct was to go, with Nestor starting, 3 out of 4 righties, right? So like Volpe, Judge, Belly, Goldie, or Goldie, Judge, Belly. But then then I get to 5 and I'm at Jazz and I'm basically left-handed all the way through. And their one leverage reliever guy, Koenig, is the guy that they want to match up, especially against, certain lanes. So that was really it. So my first instinct was to load up. Then I opted for the more balance throughout, especially thinking even if at this point in the season, if Nestor pitches well, he's not going to be more than 85, 90 pitches. If he's in any kind of trouble, he's not going to face Judge in that spot anyway, that third time around. So just a lot of that went into it.
So smart to guess that today against Burnsy, the righty, we'll go back to the game 1 with Wellesley up top. No?
Burns is a reverse too.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so Goldie will be in the leadoff spot again.
Okay. The other thing that caught me by a bit of surprise, I'm not complaining in any way, just because it's game 2. There's no complaints from me, and you are doing well. Just want to make that clear, because people always say I'm complaining. Trent is in versus the lefty. Last year he had 60 starts, only 2 came versus a lefty starter, but he has shown signs of being a reverse splits batter and hitting lefties better. Is that something you're going to tap into more this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I view him as being able to certainly hold his own and do fine against lefties, but it's kind of more of a product of our roster right now, just in the personnel we have. The ability to get Grish's defense on the field too. As I step away from the season a little bit, Grish is probably that one guy last year that actually deserved more playing time. That just how the season went and how we were rolling, it just never presented himself to get him in more often. Like the one time he got kind of regular playing time was when Giancarlo went down in August there, and he had a pretty good run. So this is more an effort to try and keep him more in the mix, even when we're fully healthy, because I think he's a really good player, and especially the defensive value he brings in center.
With Trent and Belly for center and left, I guess genuine question, how's that decision get made? Like I know Belly's moved around in the outfield a little more previously, but I don't know. Just curious on your guys' end.
Yeah, we just view Grish as such a dynamic center fielder, and that's kind of what he's played all his career. Whereas Belly's kind of played everywhere and kind of thrives in that too. Like loves moving around wherever you want him. So when those two are on the field together, that's how I like to roll it out. And
for Dominguez, obviously they're one of your first most hated topics this spring was Dominguez's defense. I think it went to lineup, and now it's fat bats. I guess for now, Dominguez and the defensive substitutions, is it you're treating him young guy new on the team that has those questions, so we're going to get Trent out there? Is it hopefully by mid-season Dominguez stays out there and looks good, or hey, Trent's a world-class defender, that's going to be our best option?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is, like me saying, I got to take advantage of that. We've got a world-class defender in Grish, and so I want to take advantage of our roster as best we can there. But also, I do view Jasson as somebody that should get really, really good in left field. But that said, he's still inexperienced. He's still learning. He's still growing. I feel like he got better as spring training went on. I felt like his work's been really good. So my expectation is that he's going to be really good out there, but I also want to kind of, give a softer landing where I can here early in the season, especially when I've got a Gold Glover sitting over there.
With Dominguez, I think he got one hit in the 3 games. But I was super impressed. I talked about on our episode of controlling the zone. He got 4.5% chase rate. I think he got like 24 pitches out of the zone, swung at one of them. How hard is that as a young guy when the rest of your team is hitting home runs at an all-time pace and you want to be part of that, to still have the patience and the wherewithal to, play your game and control the zone?
Yeah, probably a little bit, but I don't even know if it's young guy. I mean, there's veteran players that are hackers too. I think that's his DNA. I think that's why I think you could dream on him hitting everywhere from the middle of the order to the leadoff spot, because he is somebody that really controls the zone. And I feel like for all the fireworks that happened in the first series, and obviously a lot of guys busting out and having huge weekends, whereas Jasson didn't light up the stat sheet, I thought he had really good at bats all weekend. Had a few walks, got a base hit. Like you said, I feel like really controlling the strike zone and showing you having the look of a real quality hitter, and which is what we think he is. So I thought he did a good job of just being real patient, keep the game moving slow, and if he does that, he's going to be fine.
The other question about the game 2 lineup, or just in general, is the Pablo Reyes makes a team. He had a great spring. Max Fried is one of those pitchers, and the Yankees had this in 2017 or 2018, your first year, with CeCe, where it's a lot of ground balls to third base, and you guys would put Neil Walker over there instead of Andujar and CeCe days. Max Fried has led the league the last 3 years with ground balls to third base. Is that something you'll take into consideration when you choose a third baseman on his starts?
Yes.
Nice.
That was clean, guys. Good job. I guess connected to that question, Boone, you have to understand we're a couple guys that got used to being on the bench and getting an opportunity. Peraza comes in to that, the 20, and he pisses on one, and it's like, okay, there you are. Hey, I guess as manager Aaron Boone now, does that feel different from the player side of like, I got in the game, I pissed on a ball, and then the manager side of like, oh, wow. Okay. I see you, Peraza. The season started, and we'll look at that more.
I loved seeing it. I'll tell you that. Because Oz, he is really talented, and he really defends, and he had a great spring defensively. Really struggled at the back end of spring offensively, though, a little bit. So good to see him come up there in a situation and really sting a ball. So he'll get his chances. Just be about taking advantage of them, but it was really good to see, and that kind of fired me up.
So we're going Oz and Cabby?
Oz and Cabby, yeah, that seems to
I
be.
don't know.
There were 2 plays with your lefty pitchers and Goldie, both Sal Frelick running. One, we had Rodon slip on the mound. That was a scary moment. The other one, Max Fried and Goldie just kind of didn't connect there. But both it's a fast.
Frelick, you got about an 80 runner there.
Oh yeah.
That was almost akin to a drag bunt. That once it gets past the pitcher, if the pitcher can't cut it off, you're probably not going to beat them.
I hope Arizona wasn't watching. They got a lot of fast lefties.
Yeah, and looking even back at Rodon, just a little slippage there, but he was busting it. He did all he could, I thought, to get there. So
not worried about effort really on either of them. It was just kind of an odd placement. I was just wondering if there's anything that you watch that play and have both of them be like, all right, Goldie, like you got it, like just take it or bust it over, or is that just a speedy runner put the ball in a good spot?
Yeah, the one with Fried, definitely. I mean, that's first baseman and pitchers playing together. I mean, we spend so much time on PFP stuff, so hopefully over time we continue to get better and better at that. But kind of 2 unique plays there.
10:20 a.m. We're joined by manager of the Yankees, Aaron Boone. Clarke Schmidt is rehabbing. What's the injury update? Clarke, Hammy, DJ, who else we got?
Well, at 10:20 here on Tuesday morning, he is a day removed from his latest start. So he threw 46 pitches yesterday. I have not watched the video of it yet, but I heard everything went fine and well. So he is in line to go in 5 days for his next start, where hopefully he's in that kind of mid-upper 50s from the pitch count. I think the plan is 2 more starts, which would put him in line to join us on the 15th, would be inserted back with us.
Have I missed it? Or what is Clarke? What's the ailment? Like, what is he rehabbing, or what is he just behind?
He's a little behind. He had the back thing, which knocked him down just for a couple days. And then as he ramped back up, he didn't recover as well after one, not back related, just so we pushed him a couple days. We bumped him a couple days. So we just wanted to be a little slow and methodical with his build up, just with 2 little minor things that cropped up.
I don't know what the term is, guessing, projecting, probably doing stuff and I shouldn't here, and a question you're not going to answer. Clarke, to me, seems like a guy that just sprints, and you guys can't get him to walk through the first 2 weeks of spring training, and he just sprints, and there's always like just something where you're like, hey, slow down.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a good athlete, but he's also that max effort is kind of throttle him back a little bit. Like, hey, your bullpen can be 80, 90%.
Yeah, a couple springs where it's like he just can't slowly go into it and he just goes full speed, and then we're set back a little bit. I'm not trying to fully diagnose it, but it just seems like and I know his energy.
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot and just about getting built up, but certainly looking forward to him getting back into the rotation.
Him and Sevy with a little Spider-Man meme, like, hey,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that way.
So we got Will Warren, Carrasco, Rodon.
Will Warren, Rodon,
Carrasco. And we saw Carrasco make his debut through 40 pitches, 2 innings. Does that affect his start at all? Will he be? I know you're not probably going to want to.
No, he's pretty built up.
Okay.
He had pitched, 5 or 6 days prior. I think he was up to almost 80 pitches. So he's pretty built up.
Okay. I have some notes for you about the Diamondback series.
Okay.
Randall Grichuk is on the Diamondbacks. I don't know if you remember, but don't pitch to him. Tell Rodon just take it easy. He absolutely crushes the Yankees. Last time you guys faced him, he had 2 at-bats. He had 2 hits. 1 was a homer. And so it hasn't slowed down.
He used to get Tanaka a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a season. He came on the show. He's very, we're friendly with him.
Yeah, in hindsight, did he just dunk on us? I think he had a massive series, and he was like, yeah, come on, Talkin, Yanks.
Yeah. Nickname used to be that fuck Randall Grichuk because he just kills you guys. So, or, us. I'll take blame in the game.
Yeah, he had a really good year last year. So, yeah.
And then Corbin Burns throws over to first more than any starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. Is Chappie ready over there?
You're ready.
Okay. Back. He also gives up a ton of stolen bases because that's kind of the mixed bag. So I'm excited. Should be a fast series.
Let's see.
You guys kind of ruined. We were trying to come up with a nickname. We told you this. We're trying to come up with like power at the top, speed at the bottom, and all the momentum kind of got crushed because everyone just hit homers.
Yeah. Instead, they took a word for like speed, torpedo, and it now doesn't even mean speed. It means home runs.
Yep. I'm sure it's going to be a torpedo themed year.
Yeah. That got big quick. The Yankees name still works, man. That's another reason it blew up. That was actually kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
You think would Judge been mad at you if you took him out of that game and not give him the 4th shot to get the 4th homer, especially position player pitching?
No, I don't think he would have. But I want.
But you wanted that.
I wanted it. Yeah, unless he didn't want to be in, and he was like, usually in those situations, he's like, whatever you think. So
seeing Jake Bauers take the mound twice in a row, you guys don't do position player pitching that much. I think it's like the Yankees are one of the least teams to do it in the last couple of years. Trevi was the guy last year. Do you know? Do you have that pegged yet? Who would take the mound if you needed a position player to eat an inning?
Cabby did last year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't.
Okay.
We need to get on that.
You have third catcher
Last
easily
year,
figured out now.
We did it in the Milwaukee series too. It was the first time I sent somebody out there with a big lead, and it was Trevi. And we almost did it back-to-back days. But we didn't. Something
about Milwaukee and you guys has really been going swimmingly. I think the last 5 games, 12-3 in reverse order, 20-9, 4-2. I don't know what happened there. You guys really blew it. 15-5 and 15-3.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just that's baseball, Susan. I mean, that's one of those weird little anomalies that probably won't continue.
I know you got him in the game, but are you feeling it to give Escarra a start, or is that coming this series?
Yeah, probably this series, especially with 3 night games into a 4:00 game at Pittsburgh for their opening day. So there's a good chance you could see him this series in a start.
All right, Jake, you going to guess the lineup?
Okay, let's see. Goldie at first base, batting leadoff. We got that. Cody Bellinger, the center fielder, hitting 2. Aaron Judge in right field, hitting 3rd. Jazz Chisholm, the second baseman, hitting 4th.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Volpe,
the shortstop, 5.
Wells
catching 6.
Dominguez
in DH? Left.
Rice DH. Cabby, 3rd, batting 9th.
Yep.
Perfect game.
2 in a row. That's 2 games in a row. Same exact lineup.
It's working.
That's fun.
All right, Booney, I think we can get you out of here with trivia brought to you by T-Mobile. Do. According to Katie Sharp, 4 Yankees have allowed 1 run or less and struck out 7 or more players on opening day, and you managed 3 of them.
There's 4 of them.
Yes.
Carlos Rodon.
Yep.
Sevy.
2018.
Gas and filth, Sevy.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, 2023.
And then the other you did not manage that we know of, and he's a lefty.
And it's since what year?
1900. No, the 50s. Goes back to the 50s.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
your grandpa
Yeah.
probably took an AB against him or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, really? So it does. Whitey Ford.
Whitey Ford, chairman of the board.
You
There's
think
a little sweep. The Yanks are hot.
think your grandpa got hit against him?
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh.
mean, like, you think he did well?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you. Oh, I think you're going to like it. 277 batting average, 364 on base, 468 slugging in 55 plate appearances.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, they face each other a lot.
Any homers?
2 homers, 1955 and 1958.
Go Gramps.
Yeah.
Go Grams, go.
7 walks. How about that?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks,
Good
Booney.
player, that Ray Boone.
Enjoy game number 4.
Keep putting up double digits, you know?
Yeah.
Pressure's
That's right.
on, yeah.
All right.
All right. See you, man.
See ya.
Thanks, Boone.
The weather is warming up, which means it's time to head to the ballpark. Root for the home team. Unless your team's on the road, then I guess go to that game. Either way, you should be using DraftKings. Our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you use code JMBaseball. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code JMBaseball only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Peel back the curtain for the fellas at home. You mentioned this at the start of the show. Boone came on, and he kind of jokingly was like, "You guys gonna ask me about these bats?" And I said, "Yeah, I have a question, but it's silly. Don't worry." And then he goes, "You know what the dumbest thing I hear is?" And I'm like, "Whoa!
It's your question.
That was exactly my question." So he was prepared in the same way that
yeah,
we were to discuss it.
good read by us. Knew what pitch was coming, basically.
Yes, and I had to say, "Stop, save it for the show, Boone." There's some questions here, Jake, that he's answering. Like, I think it's a I don't know what it is. Year 3 of talking with us, I think does come into play a little bit, but also the Yankees are doing well right now. But my one example is that Max Fried, Pablo Reyes, third base question.
Yeah.
Instead of skirting around it, like he just said yes, but he's not going to give us any more on it.
Right.
But I feel like the last couple seasons he would do his like filibuster, well, blah and blah blah, but now at least he just said yes.
Right.
So we will take third base defensive ability into play during Max Fried starts. And I appreciate that. I don't need him to expand on it if he doesn't want to, but at least he's confirming it, which I feel like we weren't always getting. So that to me was like, oh, okay, nice. I like that.
Yeah, and it feels like for now at least, it's early on in the season, but I mean, between Peraza going yard and kind of having the glove in the arm, Oswaldo, who's earned playing time for 10 months now, it's kind of like, hey, Pablo Reyes is interesting to me. The guy hits lefties. He's moved around a lot. It feels like someone you can use in a spot starter. Hell, get Dominguez off his feet, or if he DHs, put him in left. But yeah, like at the same time, Pablo Reyes has only played his most starts at a position at the major league level is 30. So defensively, I don't know what Pablo Reyes is, and Max Fried we know what he is.
Yeah. They could say that they really think Pablo Reyes is good at third, and we haven't seen it yet. But the next time Max pitches, I think I'm going to take note of who plays third.
Right.
And if it matches the split of the opposing pitcher or not. Because that's what Pablo Reyes was in there because it was a lefty pitcher.
Right.
But now it's like, what do they value more? Giving Fried the best defense at the position that he allows balls to get hit the most, or offense? And the rest of the offense is banging, so I don't know. I think you value the defense there for your starter.
Yeah, it looks like Fried's lined up for the first game in Pittsburgh. That's supposed to be against Mitch Keller. He's righty. So, and again, Cabby's done nothing defensively to be like. I mean, I don't think we've ever talked about his defense at third base in a negative light.
No, I do think Peraza does just from the eye test, which a lot of people don't care
The
about.
web gem.
He does look just smooth. I just like the way he picks it and throws it. I also thought that his answer about Clarke was somewhat a topic he might dodge in the past, but he was just like, yeah, he kind of just runs. Because it's like 3 years now, I think, or 2 of the last 3 or 3 of the last 4 where Clarke is getting himself into like a delay in spring by going too fast, too soon.
Well, it's kind of funny now looking back at last year. They delayed Clarke. Clarke was saying, I'm ready, and they kept giving him I think they gave him 2 more rehab starts at the end of last year, and then I was laughing in my head because they did the same exact thing with Sevy.
Yeah.
Sevy was begging to come back, don't 60-day IL me, and they're like, no, you have to do this.
Yeah. That's good. Guess the lineup. That's awesome. And reverse split Burns.
Yeah.
He's really good. He's just really good.
He's really good. Let's work the pitch count. Or just score 20.
I mean, they're the least swinging team in Major League Baseball through 3 games.
Torpedo. You're in.
I'm in.
You're in.
On torpedo bats?
Yeah.
Sure. I think they work. I mean,
right.
Wells, Jazz, and Volpe all used them. They combined for 7 home runs between the 3 of them.
Big weekend.
Dominguez didn't use one. I'm just joking. I think Bailey and Goldie used it too.
Lindor's using it. He can't hit the broadside of a bat.
It's 9 homers. I mean, the wind was blowing out. The Brewers were pitching meatballs.
Yeah.
A lot of things. I don't think it's a super bat.
Right.
I do think there's an opportunity on April Fool's here to go out there with a bazooka bat. Why not?
That would be Goldie's leading off, no humor. Doesn't like music. Yeah, Judge, that's not his lane. That'd be a good Stanton.
Or Jazz.
Jazz might take it too far.
Yeah.
2 bats at the plate.
This series, it could be fun. Just if we tie this episode up with a bit of a bow. The Diamondbacks have been hitting. They're speedy. The Yankees have speed as well. Burns allows a lot of steals. You might see a fun brand of baseball if the Yankees aren't just bashing homers, but if some of them fall for doubles or singles and they get on base, it's Will Warren and Cookie Carrasco. So
yeah,
you might have to bang around, and you might have to see Yarby or some of the long relievers come in for a little bit. Who knows? I think the nature of these games against them, I don't know I can't envision the winning formula that well. Just because Will Warren and Cookie Carrasco, we haven't seen them. Are they going to go 4? We didn't get Stroman or Max Fried to get out of the 5th.
Right.
So, and then Burns is going to do well today. If they fuck up Burns and homer barrage him, then that's crazy. What they were doing.
Right.
So I guess I didn't foresee the Brewers games going that way either, but I'm excited to see what this series brings because the defense should be tested. The bat should be tested against Burns. It'll be good.
It's got some interesting wiggle between Warren and Carrasco that as much as you're excited about the spring training, Will Warren looks better.
I think he had rough last starts.
Carrasco looks vintage. It's just we're going to find out against Diamondbacks were last year's best offense. this year they're off to a similar start. We might have to see some funky managing, or we might see a lot of Yarbrough, Hedrick, and Gomez in one game. Yogo.
I believe that Warren had a tough end of spring, right?
I know
I
at
think
least
that- I think
the
that-
last start was tough.
I thought it was like the numbers came like his final numbers aren't even good, is what I thought happened. But I was kind of tuned out.
Spring.
Yeah, when you only get
I know,
5
but-
starts, one can do that. I know it got roughed up at least one.
Ended with a
starts.
5 ERA. Yeah. So I know he started really well, and I'm not saying this. I don't think this has any bearing. But for people that just tuned into the beginning of spring,
Right.
like me, and saw his first 4 starts, we're like, oh shit, he's looked great. He did tick down. But I am excited to see the new pitch mix. I thought the shape and the pitches he was throwing were better looking than last year. So
Dom Smith is back at AAA.
hey. Ooh, yeah, last 3 games got roughed up. Damn, last 2 games got roughed up. All right, go get him, Will.
It's working on stuff.
Warren to Weaver to Williams. Is there another W in the pen? I know that we got to end the show, but that seems important. Just real quick, is there another W down there?
No.
No. It would be
No, I don't think anyone else even has a W in their total name.
Mark Weeder.
What was that?
Just trying Mark Weeder, maybe.
Wogo.
Wogo. All right, so Will Warren has to pitch 6 innings.
You as a kid might have said Ryan Warborough.
Ryan Yarbrough. I wouldn't have. I think that would.
I think you just would have went away from that.
Ryan Waba. I think because my B's were J's as a kid, so that name I'm gonna ask my mom. How would I have said this? Because I said like instead of garage, I said barrage. Instead of Jeremy, I said Bormy.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder before speech therapy
That's
how
a
I
tough
would have
one.
said Yarbrough. I'll ask my mom to send a voice note, and I'll play it right now if she does.
Come on.
Should I call her? No.
It's too early in the season for that.
See.
Busting out our trick plays early.
I'll just text her. That's the end of the show. I put the noise in. Go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Will King Rodriguez in AAA. Maybe he comes up at some point.
Ooh.
And then we can have a W day.
Call. Go 6, Will Warren.